Welcome to the 223rd episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on March 10th, 2021. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and 5% of this here show with me is the man who does not have an intro prepared, Carlos Rodella.
Wait, are you talking about yourself?
I might be talking about myself.
Oh, that was nice. Nice way to send it over to me, but it's actually on you.
I had a moment of sheer panic right there, buddy.
By the way, we should tell people that you come up with that like pretty much on the spot every episode.
Like 5 seconds before we get on the air, and I totally forgot because we were so busy talking about other stuff before the show that I forgot I did not prep the intro.
Well, we both don't have an intro, but the intro is this. This is the intro.
The intro that was not an intro became an intro. It's like magic.
Introception.
Intro. Oh, intro inside an intro. But which is the real intro? Actually, the show hasn't even started yet.
I know. Well, wait about the spinning top. Is the top still spinning?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Okay.
All right. Let's get out of the matrix real quick. Let's talk about stuff. We have a full show, packed show. Tons of games. Before we get to games, we are going to do some housekeeping. Let's kick it off. Keeping the house with Carlos. Carlos, what you got this week?
Keep that house. Keep that house. Keep that house.
Still got no opening music.
I think that's what I'll just do, though. Every episode, I'll just make a new jingle. So there it is. So the first thing is just notice this on Twitter. A buddy of mine, Scott, tweeted this out, that The Outer Worlds has no DLC coming.
Oh.
And it's coming this month and like in a week or so, like really soon.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. That's good news.
I know, because I love that game. We talked about it on the show. I think you liked it quite a bit or a little bit.
I started playing it when I was not in the right headspace, so I stopped, but I actually bought it again. I rented it the first time from Gamefly, and then I bought it again, and then I think I actually bought it again. But this is good timing because I'm in a much better zone. Like, I'm more open to like that kind of experience right now, and then I'll have the whole game plus the first DLC, and then I can just wait a little bit longer, and then I'll do the second DLC.
Yeah, and they kind of, in a way, go together, too. They're kind of like mysteries, the second two DLCs. So this one is called Murder on Eridanos. Okay. And, you know, Murder on, it just sounds like a mystery waiting to happen. So
I was hoping you were going to say, like, on the Mercury Express or something.
Nice.
That would have been...
Instead, it's like on something I can't pronounce. Eridanos. And the first one was Peril on Gorgon. Yes. Which is the worst. Yeah, and I played through that. So anyways, just a quick update for our listeners and for me and for you. It's coming out very soon. The other thing I noticed while I was looking around on the internet, as one does, Cyanide and Happiness. You're familiar with that brand, right?
I am not.
What the hell?
I do not. I know. I might have seen it walking by a booth at PAX one time or something, but I don't know anything about it.
Okay, well, it's like a webcomic, and I don't know if they have a cartoon, but I got introduced to that whole brand, like the little stick figure characters, and with a card game. So there's a card game where you can like put together different phrases. Like what's that one that everyone plays? Come on.
I know what you're talking about. Comes in a black box.
Yeah, the Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity, yes.
So it's like, you know, you form something together, and it's hilarious. So anyways, they have a video game. I didn't know that. And also, I found out because I saw something about a zombie game version of Cyanide and Happiness coming out March 11th, which is tomorrow, the time of this recording.
Oh, what's it called?
I don't know.
That is so on brand for this show.
That's so us.
That is us.
Just if you type in Cyanide and Happiness zombies, you'll get it.
There's a cool thing coming out that I want to tell you about, and I have no idea what it's called.
Fine, do you want me to Google it?
Doing it right now.
Okay.
Cover for me.
But it just seems like I like that humor, and you know I like we like that Loathsome game, the stick figure.
West of Loathing. West of Loathing.
Yes, West of Loathing. Yeah.
Amazing game.
So anyways, I like stick figure humor. I like Cyanide and Happiness. They have a new game coming out. That's
Freakpocalypse. Cyanide and Happiness. Freakpocalypse.
Check it out, everybody. That's my word. And my word is that. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That was a couple words, but I get your meaning. I get your drift. What else you got, man? What else?
Oh, you just alluded to something later in the show. You said drift.
Oh, I did.
That's a stretch, but we're going to talk about a drifter later on in the show.
Oh, I've got an even more direct correlation to drift in a minute here.
Ooh, because you drifted in some vehicle that you're going to talk about?
Not even
Oh,
remotely, but no.
never
But
mind
the
then.
word drift is used. We'll find out in a minute here.
Jeez, wow, a lot of foreshadowing and not a lot of content. Guys, get back on the program.
Get back on track, folks.
So, Cyberpunk is a game that I like. I still like it. I made a
I've never
song
heard you
about it.
talk about it.
Really?
What game are you talking about?
It's called Cyberpunk 2077.
Huh, I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi type RPG, and a lot of people hate it, and I love it. Anyways, I recently put out a song. Did you see the song?
I think I did.
Okay. I made a song about how I'm still playing it. And while I was like making the song, I was looking up Cyberpunk news on YouTube, always finding the newest updates and stuff about it. And I found out that there was an ARG that they did before the game came out. And it was this kind of augmented reality thing where you know, find things in the real world. You get a T-shirt. On that T-shirt, it had a code. You use that code for a website. You know the drill.
I don't have any time for those things. I appreciate that those things are a thing in the real world that happens, but like every time I hear about them, I'm like, who's got time for that? I've got time for that. Who's got time for that?
I don't either. It's intense. So what I did is I just watched a YouTube video that explained all of it because, you know, it all happened already. But here's the cool part of it. And this could be a whole episode, so I won't go too far with it. But the end of it really talks about Night Corp. A lot of it talks about this company called Night Corp that's in the game. That's kind of alluded to in the game. It's not really full on a main mission. But a lot of the side missions and weird side missions that have to do with Mr. Blue Eyes, if anybody knows what I'm talking about.
Frank Sinatra, crooner from the
Yes.
40s and 50s.
And he's in Cyberpunk 2077.
That's amazing. Is he like a hologram?
No. Back on track. Back on track.
Back on track.
There's like talk about AI. There's talk about a lot of really weird stuff I don't want to spoil. And a lot of it's not ever explained in the game, in the main mission, or in the side missions. But this ARG actually talked about it, and that's really exciting to me. So I would suggest anybody who's like me and still like into the lore of the game and excited for DLC, but there's nothing there yet, go on YouTube. Again, we don't do the homework. Just search like Cyberpunk ARG recap, okay? And look at some of the storylines that happened in that ARG, and you can actually go on some weird side missions that you might not have gone on yet that will tell you more about this really interesting side story that most definitely will be in some DLC coming soon. So,
I gotta just say, dude, just like I haven't played Cyberpunk yet, but like I dislike it as a rule when you need to go to some outside source to find out about something that's in a game. I really hate that. It's like I don't want to do research. I don't want to go read a book. I don't want to go find a T-shirt with a barcode on it. Like just if I'm sitting down to play a game, give me all the info in the game. Like if you can't work that info in, I mean, it's either if it's so there's a difference when you can't work it in and you just don't want to work it in. I guess if you don't want to work it in, that's fine. But like, don't penalize me. Don't make things crazy and unexplained because I didn't go to your ARG. You know what I mean?
Yep. I hear you. Okay, I hear you. That's what I was trying to interrupt. Here's what I'm trying to say.
Is that what that noise was?
Yeah, I was doing yep. It was a little bit of gas. What I'm saying is, if you play the game and not know anything about this ARG, you won't lose anything, right, by not knowing the ARG stuff. I'm just saying for those crazy people out there like me, and I know you're out there and you're listening, who can't get enough of Cyberpunk, just go watch the recap. I'm not saying you had to go through the whole ARG experience, but there's some really interesting story bits about Night Corp and about this thing that I can't talk about. And it'll fill in some of the stuff that you are playing or you might have played in the side missions. It's so vague. I'm sorry to even bring it up. I mean,
as long as they don't leave you hanging in the game, that's what I really take offense to. If it's some extra thing that you don't care about or that crazy people care about, that's fine. But if I play through a mission and then I'm like, what happened? Who was that guy? Why did I do this? And then it's like, go check our webcomic, yada yada yada. Then I'm like, fuck you. But if it's something totally extra, I don't mind that. That's fine.
Yeah, it's extra. It's extra.
That's
and I'm also bringing it up because there is a really interesting thing that I never brought up on the show is that there is this really, really cool mystery that does happen naturally through the game if you do a bunch of side missions that is not explained. And I can't talk about it because it's like super spoilery.
All right, don't spoil it.
Yeah. So anyways, that's all. It's this ARG, YouTube it, look up ARG Cyberpunk. I'm giving you some free stuff to look at the lore.
Stuff.
Free information.
I got a couple things here cluttering the house. You got anything else or should I take over?
No, please. My side of the house is clean.
All right, my half, because our house is divided by a piece of like
That's
masking tape right down the middle, right?
right. We live in the same house and we split it down the middle, and we
Yes.
always get cluttered every week.
Your house, your side is clean. My side of the house is messy. Let's talk about a few things. So to circle back to a couple of movies that you brought to the show earlier that I had not watched, I am now caught up. So really quickly, Willy's Wonderland, starring Nicolas Cage. I watched that a couple days ago. That was the Nicolas Cage, kind of like a Five Nights at Freddy's inspired, I guess horror movie. It's also, I guess, sort of a comedy, sort of a weird movie.
Yeah, it's weird.
Um, it was okay. It was interesting. I watched it with my son because he's a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan, and he thought it was great because he likes scary animatronics and he likes the combat and stuff was fine. But I gotta say, I felt like that movie left me with more questions than answers, and I did not appreciate that. I didn't. There was just too much that was unanswered, right? And I don't want to get super spoilery, but one thing that you brought to my attention before we watched the movie was that Nicolas Cage never speaks.
Yep.
Really strange, right? Like he goes through the entire movie, he doesn't say a single word. Like he yells a couple times when he's throwing punches, but that's it. Like he doesn't talk. And I thought for sure that was going to be a plot point. There's also this other plot point where every, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, his alarm on his watch goes off and he's got to go drink a soda. Like clockwork. Every
Yeah.
20 minutes, like no matter what he's doing, he stops, like in the middle of a fight or like he's getting chased or some shit. He just stops, goes to the kitchen, drinks a soda, and then comes back. And I'm like, okay, that's got to be a plot point because that's fucking weird. And what is even going on with this? And they don't really answer it. Like they get to the end of the movie, and I was waiting for a plot twist, and I'm not going to spoil it, but like I felt the resolution of those two items was extremely unsatisfactory, and I was kind of mad because it's like if you introduce an element like that, I feel like you owe it to the audience to at least allude to the explanation. And I was like,
Well, I'll give you the explanation to the taking the breaks because that's what it is. It's nothing more than that really. But in the very beginning of the movie, the guy who is like setting him up to go clean this place, this old Chuck E. Cheese's, he goes, "Make sure you take your breaks." And literally, that's what he does the whole movie.
That is not enough of an explanation. Though.
It
That
isn't.
No.
I know it isn't. But it is also like culty and Nicolas Cagey and weird, and it's just weird. I think that is weird. And remember, he like does it to the detriment of other people in the movie.
Yeah, people are like getting attacked, and he's got to take his break, and
he's
just
got to
leaves
take
them.
his break. Here's what I think it is, and I like movies, and I like a Twin Peaks series, etc.
Sure.
I like stuff that you gotta like make up your own ideas.
Sure.
So in my mind, if he doesn't take his breaks, he doesn't have his video game energy to kill the animatronics. That's what I think. Because he drinks a soda too. Remember, he drinks a soda.
He eats
he
no
relaxes.
Food.
He
drinks soda, plays some pinball. Plays pinball during his break.
That's what I think it is. That's all I think that is.
I was so dissatisfied by such weird, eccentric behavior that it felt like it was weird for the sake of being weird with nothing behind it, and I got really unhappy about that. But other than that, like the monsters were fun. Beating up the monsters was fine. My son loved it, and that was good. So we had some good quality bonding time. So there was Willy's Wonderland. I don't know that I would recommend it to anybody unless you're a Five Nights at Freddy's diehard, but there you go.
Well, I would also recommend it to a Nicolas Cage fan who likes weird cult movies.
Sure.
Yeah,
you know
what I mean?
Yeah. Agreed. I also circled back and watched Monster Hunter finally when it first came out. You watched it right like the day it came out or something like that, and I'm like, I was worried it was going to be a trash fire, and I didn't want to spend $20 on the rental. So I waited, and it dropped to $6.99, and I'm like, okay, I can gamble $6.99 on this movie based on a game that I've played several hundred hours with. So yeah, that's fine. I'll try it. And I got to say, dude, you actually were right. That was a pretty legit movie. It was not bad at all. I was very surprised. I was expecting the worst, and maybe it helped that my expectations were low. But like when we actually got into the movie, it was pretty clear that the director had a very firm understanding of what Monster Hunter was about. Like he understood the IP. He had the right references. He had the right content. He approached the monsters the right way. It was a little bit of a divergence because they kind of had to explain how the real world crossed over with the Monster Hunter world, but I thought that was fine. I really liked how when the star of the movie, Mila Jovovich, when she goes into the Monster Hunter world, she doesn't speak the language, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Like she kind of had to like negotiate with Tony Jaa, who was I didn't realize he was in that movie at all. I missed that somehow, and he popped up, and I'm like, holy shit, what's he doing in this movie? That's crazy.
Wait, I don't know who is he?
He's like a super crazy martial arts star. He was in Kickboxer, I think it was called. Like a bunch of like really awesome martial arts movies. He's a really
Hmm.
big star if you follow that scene. And he showed up, and I was like knocked out of my chair. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize he's in the movie. So we started watching, and it was really good. The monsters were good. They looked great. The action was great. They did the weapons properly. The only one thing that I took issue with, and I was so mad about this, and I feel like the director did it on purpose, was anybody who plays Monster Hunter knows that a big part of Monster Hunter is you got to cook your own food sometimes. It gives you back stamina. It's really important to cook the food. And when you cook your food, you can burn it. Like if you burn it, it gets burned. It's no good. But if you cook it just right, like this little sound clip that plays and it says like, so tasty. Like it says it like every time you cook it, right? So that's like one of the Monster Hunter like hallmarks. And they go to the campfire. They're cooking the fucking food. She's doing she's doing the thing. And then the camera like pans into her like she's gonna say it, and she's like, "This is so good." And I'm like, "What?
Oh
So
yeah.
good? What the fuck are you talking about? You gotta say so tasty, or at least you could even do so meaty. That's acceptable. So meaty, or so tasty. One of those two phrases. The director did not do it. I was shouting at the screen. My wife was shouting at the screen. My kid was running in circles. He's like, "She didn't say it." And we're all fucking mad she didn't say it. That sucked.
That's
But
funny.
other than that one moment, I thought the movie was great, really great adaptation. I was surprised, flabbergasted, dare I say, at how great of an adaptation it was. I wouldn't have believed it until I saw it. It was.
I love it.
Thumbs up. Yeah, it was
I
good.
love it. I love also, hearing you say things like "you were right" or "you were so
You were right,
or something
Carlos.
like that.
You were
Yeah.
so right.
That's cool to hear. But also, I think that with that thing that was missing that you were looking for, that one little soundbite.
Unlike.
I think a lot of it is because he was trying to balance like the real world stuff and the non Monster Hunter fans and the non Monster Hunter just kind of world. And I think he did an awesome job of it because
He did.
when the Monster Hunter world comes in, it's Ron Perlman, it's a fucking cat, it's like
You're like in a
ridiculous.
desert sand ship and all that stuff, and
I'm like,
yeah, it's great.
That is the other world, and so it's like I think why, and I'm just getting in the director's head. There's like, okay, well, this is still like we're not fully in video game land yet. I feel like they're going to make a second movie for sure.
I'm sure they will.
So that one, maybe you'll get your soundbite. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, yes, I'm going to forgive it because he got so much right, and so much of that was totally on target when it could have gone so wrong. I'm not going to hold it against him. Maybe I will a little bit, but not really. But she could have just said, so tasty. She could have said that.
You're right.
That would have been okay. So anyway, small super fan, OCD detail, not a big deal. But overall, you were right, Carlos. Monster Hunter was actually legitimately good. I was shocked. It's definitely worth it.
Groovy.
One final shout out. Pacific Rim The Black is playing on Netflix right now. I am a huge Pacific Rim fan. Do you care for Pacific Rim or you don't?
I guess I don't. That's just like the big robots versus monsters, right?
That is it exactly. I love big robots. I love big monsters. I love Guillermo del Toro, which that was his baby. That's like three of my favorite things in one movie. That movie, the first Pacific Rim, is awesome. That's like legit, no joke, one of my favorite movies of all time because it is so fucking awesome. Seeing those robots fight and shit, this is my jam to the 1000th degree. Less so for the sequel. It wasn't great, but I'll take more big robots, I guess. This Pacific Rim The Black is a 7-episode animated series playing on Netflix. I don't know the people who are creatively involved. I do not believe Mr. Del Toro is involved, but it is a canon continuation of the story. This takes place after the second Pacific Rim film. So even though it's an animated series, it's set in Australia. It does not have any of the same characters, but they definitely reference very clearly the events of the previous film. Some of the robots from the previous film show up. Like it's 100% a legit continuation. It's pretty good. It's not awesome, but it's pretty good. It's worth watching if you're a Pacific Rim fan. Some of the ideas they had in that show were like really chef's kiss awesome. Some of the ideas I was maybe not so sold on, but overall, there's not a lot of Pacific Rim content out there these days. And if you, like me, are just kind of jonesing for more of that world, it's worth a watch. It's pretty good. Not great, but pretty good.
It's kind of like how I was just trying to give the cyberpunk people some more cyberpunk stuff. See?
But it's not an ARG.
But it's not an ARG, and yes, I know. But anyways, no, that's cool. Like I like extra anime to like continue the story, or extra any sort of like episodic stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that. I do feel like the art style is a little bit too anime for my taste, and I was kind of following along and it was fine. But when they started referencing the original stuff, I'm like, okay, well that's cool. I mean, they took their time. They didn't go off on their own. They definitely are acknowledging the events of the previous, two films. And I mean, it's cool. It's cool. A few things I was like, oh, this is not great, but overall, definitely worth a watch if you want Pacific Rim. And there's, like I said, there's not much out there these days, so you got to take what you get.
By the way, our house was cluttered because that's like
It
a
was super
20-minute cleaning of house.
It's ridiculous. All right, house is clean. Let's get on track. We got a lot of games to talk about. On to the main content of the show, episode 223, happening live in person right now. Carlos, we're going to kick it off with you. You've got a couple of quickies we're going to cover. Dreaming Sarah and Under Leaves. Which one do you want to cover first?
Dreaming Sarah. It'll take 2 seconds. I put Dreaming Sarah review in parentheses in my notes. Ratalaika strikes again.
Oh no, I saw that. And this
again.
Dude, same thing. I saw this game in the eShop. I'm like, ooh, I want to buy that. Wait a minute, Ratalaika Games. Hold up. And then you said you were going to review it, so I'm like, oh yes, Carlos took this bullet.
He'll take the bullet. Yes, I didn't see the Ratalaika. I don't know what's wrong with me because I have we live at home and I just basically buy every game. So I was like, yes, this looks weird. I like the trailer. It's about a platformer, a little girl going around and seeing crazy stuff, being platformery and crazy stuff. I don't know. It just looked interesting from the trailer. So I was like, okay. And then I download it. I start it and it goes, Ratalaika Presents.
And then you went, oh shit.
Oh, I started crying. I just started crying and said, well, that's my $5 or whatever gone. No, it's not good. And unfortunately, that's what happens. No. Like, okay, so again, to set up the trailer, it's a platformer with a girl running, left and right, going to like these 2D, kind of 2D pixel platformer. She's going to like weird worlds. You see like giant eyeballs. You see like items she's got to pick up. You see kind of monsters. You see, just weird landscapes. And I'm like, that's going to be fun for a LARF. You just go through, you see the story. That's sure. Good for a LARF. It's not even that good for a LARF because basically the things you do, it's like the most simple in the world. Like the most simplest platformer you can ever devise ever. RPG Maker platformer. You know what I mean?
Oof. So well, I mean, what's the hook? I mean, is there any hook to it?
Well, here it again. The trailer shows, she's entering her own mind, supposedly. I don't know. Like, it's like, what is she doing? Where's she going? How could she see all these weird worlds? It never explains it. I mean, granted, I played it for 45 minutes, an hour or something.
Wow, I'm surprised you made it that long. Okay.
Because I really wanted to see if this got better or whatever. Not much story happens. It just seems like she just goes places, gets things. Let me give an example. In the very beginning, you're running around, you can jump. I also didn't like the jump mechanic, which always kills me at a platformer. Mm-hmm. You get an umbrella, or no, you meet some character and he goes, I wish I had my umbrella. You go like 2 boards over and there's the umbrella. And you're like, I should probably get this umbrella. Then it lets you glide or something, so you can jump and glide with it.
Sure.
I went back to the guy who wanted his umbrella. He was gone. I was like, oh, okay. Walked a couple more boards, saw a guy, he said, like, I wish I had my hat. Walked to some other boards, went through an elevator, found a hat. I mean, this is like 5 minutes, Got the hat in 5 minutes, went back to the guy, he's like, thanks for the hat, take this. And it's just that kind of cookie cutter, like...
Right.
I mean, yeah, it introduces new moves, I guess, here and there, but it just felt like, why am I doing any of this?
Dude.
It kind of goes down to that thing, like, we talk about this a lot on this show, like, there's games just for like fun, shooty, fighting games, things that are just visceral, right?
Yeah.
I like Tony Hawk just because it's fun. But lots of times if we want to spend some time with a game, we want just a little bit of reason to why we're doing this stuff.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like this one is like so cookie cutter that I was like, well, why am I still doing this? And I wasn't getting fed like story. I was just getting weird messages here and there, meeting characters that were okay, but then they were just easily resolved. So unless it blows up and turns into this amazing experience like 2-3 hours in, I mean, you just got to catch me before that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, so this is a perfect example of like something that I think of a lot. Because as a game critic and editor, and reviewer, I get this is not a joke. Okay. I get several hundred emails a day from people who want me to play their game and check out their game. And like, when you are in this position, which I admit is a unique position, not everybody sees as many emails as I do, but like you start to see all this stuff that just looks the same, where it's like, hey, this is a really basic 2D platformer that's made of pixels, and I've got this character who's like maybe a little bit cute but kind of generic, and like I get like a dozen of those a day, dude. And so I just kind of wonder, like, if you don't have a hook, why are you making this? Because there's 50 million other 2D platformers like this, and some of them are pretty fucking awesome. Like, and
Yeah.
if you don't have the juice to step to that, why bother doing that? And I get it if it's like, hey, it's my first game and I'm learning how to make, like, cool, like, do that. But like, if I draw a picture of a scribble, I don't take it to an art museum and want to sell it. I just figure I'm learning how to draw, right? So like, if you make a super basic game and it's just like a super basic game with no hook to it and no real reason to get anybody to play it, like, don't sell that. Just, you got the skill, now make something better. Look at what's out in the market. Find a niche that isn't being filled. Find a hook that is original or original-ish, and then like give us a reason to play it. Like, it's not enough to just be a platformer or just to be a multiplayer party game. There's got to be like a hook, an idea, a concept, because there's so much competition out there. It's not enough to just make a game that runs, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
got to be more to it.
Yeah, but to your point, like now to play devil's advocate, I guess, is like, yeah, independent game developers have to make stuff to get better and to see what they want to make in the future. And
Sure.
maybe, maybe again, Red Alike could push this out because they, like me, were intrigued by the trailer, and like we're like, oh, this might be interesting to some people. And the trailer was interesting to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like you've said this many times in the show, wait till their next outing, like let's see what their
Yeah.
next outing is. For me, it's just hard pass. But I really like the trailer, and
Oh
I was
man,
like,
dude,
man,
that is Radalika's whole jam. They get me every time. Trailer looks great. Whoever's making trailers at
that's
Radalika
true.
is a genius.
Oh,
Every trailer they put out is dope, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna buy that game. And then I buy the game, and I'm like, this game fucking sucks.
okay.
Every time, every time.
Let's put it on this episode 223. We are not going to let Radalika get us again, and I'll do my due diligence and actually look at the publisher developer information when I
They
see a
get
good
you,
trailer.
man. They get you. They are coming for that $4, dude.
They got my, I think, 6 or something.
Ugh,
Jeez Louise.
man. Okay.
Okay, moving on. Let's just quickly talk about Under Leaves.
Yes,
which-
Under Leaves.
I wanted to actually play this game just based, again, similarly, on
the
a
trailer.
trailer / like just the look of it. And then we were lucky to get a code. And I played it on Xbox. And this is a very relaxing, cool game. It is just a simple game to find items on maps, right? Like, I don't know, what's the style of game?
Is this like an item hunt sort of a game? Like
Yeah.
like a bunch of crap on the screen, and you got to find the comb, and you got to find the button and the cheese wedge and stuff like that, or is that
Okay,
kind of
well,
like?
here's the thing. I don't like hidden item games at all, at
Okay.
all. And I actually worked for a company where we put out some at Big Fish. I liked all the other games that we were working on, but I didn't like the hidden.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Big
item
Fish
ones.
put out a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I did like the spooky one, but in general, I don't like a lot of them. So
Hidden object games. That's
Hidden
what they're called.
object,
Hidden
yes.
object games.
So the thing with them, just a real quick mini history, is that almost every time with those, you have to like put things together. So the things that we talked about in the show many times, we don't like about adventure games, is we have to like find the cheese wheel and put it together with the sword or something, and you're like, that. Yeah, I made a cheese wheel sword, and now that fits in the lock because it's Resident Evil. Anywho, so that's a lot of those games, hidden objects. You'll find things, but then like you need those things to unlock things, or you combine the things, and it's just bullshit. I don't want to do that. This is just a relaxing Zen like meditation game where it's this map, and you start with there's a couple maps actually, and you just like pick a place on the map, and it's like an animal, and it's beautiful like watercolor style, art style.
Okay. Okay.
And you go to the map, and it's like say it's a bear, and the
And
bear
this is all
just
2D, I assume.
yeah, all 2D
Okay.
paint. It's like paintings.
Okay, gotcha.
And the bear, there's no audio and there's no text, but you just click on the bear and it just says a word bubble and says the bear wants like these, pine cones or fish or something, and you have to go find them in the environment. You're just moving your mouse around and clicking. I used it on the Xbox, and the analog controller felt fine, very very smooth, so it wasn't difficult. And then you find them all, and then you go back to the animal, click him or her, and it's like thanks, and then some little cutscene happens, right? Just some sort of like little thing, like one there was like these animals in a tree, and like the little baby animals showed up, or like some birds flew by. Something very relaxing. It feels like it's a meditation game, really, and when you do try to find these things for these creatures, there's like multiple boards. So you put on the directional pad, you push down, and there's a whole other board. And if you
like
don't
all
find,
connected to the one big picture, like
yeah,
it's all one big
yeah,
picture.
it's
Okay.
like a 4x4 frame or something.
Okay.
And then you go to the right, and there's more. And so if you're not finding it on one frame, it's on probably on another picture. It's just so relaxing, and the music is so good. The sound effects are so good. Like, if it's a forest, there's like forest sounds, water. You can hear underwater sounds. Play with your headphones, of course. This is on Switch as well, right?
Yes, it is. I believe so. I believe it's on everything.
I think it'd be great on Switch because, like, right before bed, it's such a relaxing thing. There's no like gaminess about it. There's no winning. I mean, I guess there's an ending, but I actually was going through them pretty quickly, and I just stopped myself because I was like, I need to play this in the evenings. I'm just gonna save these. It's similar to Picross. I love playing Picross. Just to kind of chill out.
Sure.
Or you call it? What do you call it? Pie cross?
P-cross, pie cross, Picross.
Pie crust?
Pie crust. Okay, so let me ask you a question then. So how difficult is it to find these things? Because it sounds like what you're describing is pretty relaxing, and it's pretty ironic that you brought this to the show. I know you'll find out why in a minute. But like, are you like circling the board over and over? Are you racking your brain trying to find these, or is it pretty simple to find what you need? Like, is it more chill, or is it really like testing your eyesight?
Yeah, it starts chill and it gets harder because I remember I was like, okay, is this all just going to be the same level of difficulty? And no, it just got progressively harder, but none of it feels, again, I just described what the game is. Even if it's like really hard to find something, the music's relaxing, the graphics are really cool to look at. You don't care. You're not like, oh, there's a timer. If there was a timer in this game, fuck that. That would be terrible. There's not. It's very relaxing, and yeah. To answer your question, though, it does get harder. And I was in this underwater level, and they were looking for seashells, and everything else was the same like pattern as the seashell. And I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
But it never was like impossible, and I wasn't like staying on a board for too long. That's all I have to say about it. I think it's a great before bed game. It's relaxing. Again, I could have finished it, but I was like, I'm saving this. This is going to be my evening thing I do.
All right, excellent. I'm glad you brought that up. So the two games you discussed were Dreaming Sarah from Ratalaika Games and Under Leaves, which we just discussed here. Funny that you mentioned that because totally unconnected to you, we did not coordinate this in any way. I ended up playing Wind Peaks on the Switch, literally the exact same kind of game that you just described with Under Leaves, like
Weird.
Basically to a T. In Wind Peaks, it is again a 2D hand-drawn game where you are looking for hidden items in the environment. In this particular game, there's kind of a story, I guess, but there's no language in the game. There is no written language. There is no spoken language. There are no words. The developers use like pictograms and images to try to explain what they want you to do. Not super successful, I don't think. You got to be pretty good to get away with that, but it gets the point across. Basically, you're a group of like Cub Scouts or something going on a camping trip, and each level is about one phase of this trip. And so like one level is like you're in the woods, and the next level is like you're at the campsite, and the next level is like you're around the campfire roasting marshmallows. And in each of these levels, there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different things you got to find. It's like a pair of pants, left shoe, right shoe, a banana, a pencil, whatever, and it's not crazy stuff. I mean, it's stuff that would be related to what's going on in the scene, right? So like on a tent, a sleeping bag, it's all kind of related. The levels I think are pretty big, probably about the same size as what you're describing, maybe 4 or 5 screens, maybe more than that, maybe 6 or 8 screens sometimes. And you can zoom in or out to get a good look. You can click on things to move them. Like let's say, for example, there's a bush that looks suspicious. You can click on the bush, and then the bush will like part as if you are, looking inside the bush kind of a thing. Or like there's a tent with the flap closed. You click on the flap opens to see if there's something inside the tent. So it's kind of like that. And after you finish the first scene, you get like a very brief cutscene of the campers like doing something or like moving on to the next phase of their story. I like this idea, and I got a code from the developer. The developer said it was kind of inspired by something like Gravity Falls, along those lines. You ever watch Gravity Falls?
Yeah, and by the way, I'm seeing some of the images. It's important to note that your game you're talking about is more like little characters, and you're moving the characters around then, right?
No, you're not moving the characters
Oh,
at all.
okay. They're on the screen. I see some little characters on the
They
screen.
just like hang out and do their thing. You're just moving a cursor around the screen.
Okay. You're still so both games you're moving a cursor then. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, there are like campers on the screen. There's people walking, people sleeping, but you're not doing anything with them. You're just kind of moving your cursor around trying to find the items. That's all you're really doing.
Okay. And yeah, I did see Gravity Falls. I'm getting that vibe from these images.
Yeah. So I love Gravity Falls, and that was a big draw. I'm like, oh, I love Gravity Falls. And if this is the same kind of, slightly supernatural, slightly heartfelt, little kid adventures, that's what I'd be up for that. That's cool. It's okay. I got to be honest with you. I ran out of patience really quickly with this game because I feel like I was just spending too much time looking for items. Like they weren't popping up quickly enough. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's my eyesight. Maybe I just was playing it too late at night. Maybe I was too tired. I don't know. But I got 3 or 4 boards in, and I just was like, I just started getting fucking irritated because I couldn't find the thing I needed. And I would find out of 6 items, I would find 4 like right off the bat. And then I would spend half an hour looking for the last 2. And it's just like, it started wearing on my nerve. I just kind of was like just getting irritated because I couldn't progress fast enough. There is a hint button, but I actually despise the hint button because when you hit the hint button, you can choose which item you want. So let's say, for example, there's like a shoes, a banana, and a hat, and you're like, well, I can't find the banana, so I need a hint for the banana. You push the button, and then it makes you wait 3 literal real-time minutes before you get the hint. And when the hint shows up, it's only on screen for like a couple seconds. So if you're not on the screen where the banana is, you'll get a little arrow that says, hey, it's over here to the northwest. You scroll over there, but if you're too slow with your scrolling, the hint goes away, and then you're fucking looking for it again. And I'm like, oh my God.
Are you exaggerating the 3 minutes, or is it
No, it is
really...
literally a 3-minute countdown. Literally a 3-minute countdown.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that?
It's so irritating. And that 3 minutes, like honestly, that 3 minutes is what killed this game for me because that forced waiting period was way too long and it drove me up the fucking wall because when I need a hint right now. I don't want to wait 3 minutes because I'm already stuck. I guess the idea is that you're going to keep looking for those 3 minutes to give you a chance to redeem yourself, I guess. But like, dude, I don't want to work that hard for this game. I just want to enjoy the pictures and enjoy the scenery and see what happens to these campers. I don't want to like go cross-eyed looking for a banana in the fucking woods, right?
Yeah.
So like that, if it was like 1 minute, I would have finished this game and I'd probably be talking about it really positively right now. It is 3 minutes and it made me fucking furious. And I could not do it anymore and I just quit the game and I'm like, fuck it. I can't waste my time on this. That feels like an insulting amount of time. It drove me crazy. So that's what happened.
And that's unfortunate because the art does look really cool. It
is really cute. Yeah.
Let me tell you the difference of why, not to just jump back to Under Leaves again, but the difference of why I like Under Leaves, and there's no hints, I don't think, because it's simple enough. Yeah. I'm looking at the screens of the game you just talked about, Wind Peak, and it's very complicated what's on screen. Like there's a lot of things. Pretty busy. And this is like, it's busy, but it's all the same thing. Like in Under Leaves, it's like underwater and some shells. And you're just in the underwater area, and every board is kind of underwatery. And then the forest is all the same forest type trees and some leaves. But it's not like you're like, seeing a truck and going like, is it under the truck somewhere? And like you said, you have to open things. There's none of that stuff. It seems like this one's, and it might get much harder later on, but yeah, that's unfortunate. I like it much simpler to be like a meditative game.
Yeah, I mean, for something like this, I just wanted to roll through it, dude. Like, I was not looking for a challenge. I was not looking to be tested. I just wanted to take in this really cool art, and the art is really cool, and to see these campers do their thing, and just breeze through it. That's all I wanted, just to have a good time and relax. And it ended up being really stressful instead of relaxing, which I think is the opposite of what they intended. So,
yeah.
Wind Peaks on Switch. Next up, also on Switch, is a game called Battle Brothers. This is a PC, originally turn-based strategy game, which has a bunch of dudes. I don't know if they are literally brothers, but they are depicted in the game as 2D busts, as in head and shoulders, right? Like, like there's no arms, there's no body, there's no legs. It's just the head and shoulders of a dude, and that's all you get. And then you go onto this map and you start doing some battle. I was curious because I like to play turn-based strategy games. I like strategy. I like that kind of stuff. And I bounced off this game almost immediately.
It did. The loading screen just showed up, and you're like, I don't know about these head and shoulders. Bust them out.
I mean, I've played many strategy games. I am not a newcomer to the genre by any stretch of the imagination. But like it's like you start the game and it's like we recommend you play the tutorial, and I'm like, yes, sir, I'm definitely gonna play your tutorial. You get to the tutorial, they don't tell you a goddamn thing.
Shit.
They don't tell you how the fucking combat engine works. They don't tell you how anything works. How the aiming works. I was like, what is going on? You told me to play the tutorial. I even backed out of it. I'm like, did I pick the wrong mission? Am I not in the tutorial? Back out of it, restart, go back to the tutorial. It's the literal same mission. They don't explain anything. And I'm like, how dare you call this a tutorial?
Dude, hold on. I thought you were gonna say. I'm still laughing at what I thought you might say, that they were gonna make you wait 3 minutes.
Oh God, no. God,
They're like,
God,
you want
no.
the tutorial? Hold on,
3
just
minutes.
see if you can figure it out for yourself for a minute, and we'll give it to you in 3 minutes.
Oh my God. I seriously was like, okay, how does this work? What is going on? Why I cannot shoot this guy? What's happening? How much energy do I have? I'm not sure. Dude, tutorial. Teach me to play your game. They did not teach me how to play this game, and I got really frustrated because I do not like to bash my head against a game and try to figure it out when all you got to do is just tell me what to do, and I guarantee I'll pick it up really quickly. I suffered through it for a little bit longer, got to the town, and I hoped things were going to open up from there. Then it was like you got to the town, and it was like all these resources, all these buildings to go to, all this stuff you had to manage. Hey, do you want new equipment? You want to buy these resources? You want to start a farm? And I'm like, what the fuck is even going on in this game? I don't even know what I'm even doing. Like, why am I? Oh, it's just like so frustrating. Too much information overload, and maybe that works on PC. Maybe you can get away with that on PC. You cannot get away with that on console. You definitely can't get away with that on Switch. Like, you've got to teach me how to play your game. So I bounced out of that. Like, after that, I'm like, fuck it. I don't have the time for this. Don't have the bandwidth. So I left. That was Battle Brothers. Last game I'm going to talk about in this section here, Katana Kata, which is also on Switch. I'm playing it on Xbox X. I believe it's on everything right now. The developer describes it as a Souls-like roguelike. I do not know why he calls it that, because I don't think I would use either one of those terms, really. Basically, you play a generic kind of, maybe a Japanese swordsman. It's not exactly clear. And you have a high attack, you have a low attack. This is third person, kind of behind the back, real-time combat.
Wait a minute, is this the original Katakana game?
No. That's Karateka you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
No, different, not related whatsoever. But I know what you're talking about. No. So you take your guy and you've got a sword, high attack, low attack, dodge, and then he's like, yeah, go kill the dudes who have disgraced us. And I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. And it's like the tutorial, again, not great, and I don't understand really how this game exactly works, because high attack, low attack, you can parry. Like, if an enemy does a high attack, you do a high attack, you parry them, and it's supposed to leave them open for an attack. Sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't. Like, I would parry high, and then I would attack right after that, and they would block it. I'm like, well, I just parried you. How are you blocking this? And sometimes I could hit him, like, really easily, kill a guy in one hit. Sometimes it would take 3 or 4 hits. I'm like, I don't understand why I'm doing more damage this time as opposed to last time. And as you go through, you've got a life bar. You can pick up health potions every so often, but basically you're on a death run. Like, you want to take as little damage as possible, and you just keep going through. Like, guys will pop up, and you're trying to, one-shot them, I suppose. People say they kind of relate it to what is that one samurai game that was on PS1 that was the one-hit kill samurai game that everybody loved?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, there was a kind of like a one-hit samurai game on PS1. I totally can't remember what it's called, but it's a famous game that everybody loves. And boy, do I feel stupid for not remembering that name right now.
I'll look it up.
Go Google it or something, man. But anyway, the combat didn't feel good. Like, I couldn't get into the groove with how the combat was working. Sometimes the parry worked, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes I'd one-hit guys, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I could do a combo, sometimes I couldn't. And it just wasn't really, clicking with me. And I mean, I'm no stranger to action games, so I know all about action games. I just wasn't vibing with this one. Like, I'm not quite sure how the developer is envisioning this game is going to be played, but it just didn't feel very good. After you die, you get sent back to the beginning. You keep any power-ups that you got, so I guess the goal is that you're going to run through, get a couple level ups, die, go back to the start, but then you keep your level ups, and you're gonna be that much tougher for the next time. Hopefully you make it a little further. I mean, I get it. That's an okay loop. But the game just didn't feel very good to play. Like, I just could not jive with the combat. Didn't ever make it out of the first level because I just kept getting killed too many times. And I just didn't want to, buckle in and commit to this thing to master it because it just didn't grab me right off the bat. So I bowed out pretty quickly. Maybe people want to take a look if you want a real simple, super simple, actiony sword fighting game. Katana Kata is what this is called. Yeah,
I like the ending. You're like, and that's what the name of it is. If you want to check it out,
is.
Yeah.
Did you Google that game? What is it called?
Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's vaguely in the same bucket as Bushido Blade, but not really. So there you go.
All right,
Carlos. Enough of this stuff. Let's turn it back to you. A brand new game that came to the PS5. I don't know. Is it PS5 exclusive?
I don't know which game you're talking about.
You're talking about Maquette, which was given away to PS5 owners who are PS Plus members. I was very surprised to see it was a PS Plus game because it's brand new.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's very cool. It is a puzzle game, first person, I believe. And I think is this an Annapurna game?
It is Annapurna, which I love almost everything they've ever published.
They put out a lot of good stuff. So, Carlos, tell us about Maquette from Annapurna.
Yeah, it's similar to the Xbox Game Pass, right? This is a free game for PlayStation owners, even though it's brand new, just like Medium. And by the way, both with a letter M, starting with M. So it must be that. That's the reason.
Next month is the End games.
Yes, and then,
And then O.
I didn't know what came after.
Didn't know what the next letter was.
Yeah. I didn't graduate. I did. So I went to college. But I didn't graduate. But I did graduate. I could keep it going.
We're milking it. Hold
on. But I only got an associate's degree.
Oh.
And that's the ending of it. That's true. But it's in journalism, so that's pretty cool.
Oh man, okay. There's a lot of jokes that could spiral off from that, but we're gonna get back to the game here.
What? It's journalism. Okay, so game's called Maquette. It's Annapurna, and they also do movies and stuff. They're just so cool. I love Annapurna. But the developer is Graceful Decay. I never heard of them. This might be their first game. I'm not sure. It is a first-person puzzle game, which I'm not like the first person to jump in bed with a puzzle game, as you know, probably if you've listened to the podcast before. But
you're not the first person to jump in bed with a first-person puzzle game, or just a puzzle game?
I'm not the first person to jump in bed with a person.
Now, what about a third person? That's pretty spicy.
What about a shit? What about a 2D third person?
A 2D
from first person's perspective. How about that? Anywho, Maquette. I'm not going to send this to the developer. They'll be like, they're not even reviewing our game.
They're just talking about porn references. What are they talking about here?
Well, that's where I'll cut it right there. I'll cut that part out. So here's a simple explanation of what Maquette is. It is basically everybody's gone to the rapture mixed with subliminal. How do you say it? Superliminal. That's why it sounded wrong. Well, I'm definitely not going to send them this review.
Your subconscious was telling you that was wrong. You got a subliminal message that it was the wrong word.
I think we fell back into the Inception Matrix from the beginning of the episode.
That top is still spinning, dude.
We're in it. Okay, let me restate that. It is basically like a first-person game that's like What Remains of Edith Finch or Fitch or whatever, and everybody's gone to the rapture. You're kind of going through in a first-person way, not really action-based, just hearing a story, right? Well, while you're doing this, there's puzzles to be solved, and when you solve more of the puzzles, you'll get more of the story.
Is someone narrating? Is that what's happening?
Yes, and so the story is told through narration, but also text on the screen that is very, very smoothly and artfully put on different places on the world, right? So you'll be coming around a corner somewhere, and you'll see the narration take place, and you can hear it, but it's also written right on the wall somewhere.
Okay, so they work it into the environment, basically.
They work it into the environment, yeah.
Okay,
and the text is all very artsy and stuff, and it changes based on where you are and what kind of landscape you're in. And so what it is, at least from what I can see, it's one big board, at least the beginning. It might open up. But it's a big board, and it's got 4 or 5 different little scenarios in it, or biomes, right? So in the middle is kind of this model, or like a little model, like a toy model of something, and then around the outside of that there's a little sidewalk, and each stop point of the sidewalk is a door, and inside that door there's a whole other little mini world. Okay, and when I say mini world, I'm talking a few screens big, not too huge.
Okay,
and then but the middle, that little toy in the middle, is the world. So it's very superliminal. Is that what it is?
Damn
No,
it, you
I
got me
got
messed
you
up now
saying it wrong.
too. Superliminal. Wait,
Superliminal. Yeah, I think that's right. So
that's not right.
basically, anything you do in the environment, in the little world, right, in the little world that's in front of you, takes place in the real world, but in a bigger scale. So, say you find something like a little box in that little model that's in the middle of the map, and you pull it out and you put it down next to something that should make it bigger, you'll see it appear in your world as a huge block,
Oh, I see. Okay, I got you.
right? And that's the kind of same stuff that happened in Superliminal.
Superliminal, yeah.
Yeah.
Superliminal.
So you mix that together with storytelling and really good music, like songs, like straight up fucking like female vocalists and really good like heartfelt songs that
Okay.
are telling the story of a couple essentially. And the couple meeting, and I'm not sure what the ending is yet, but the couple meeting for the first time, falling in love, kind of the little memories that people have when they share these moments together for the first time. And so the graphics kind of tell the story as well. So in one example, you're in this little, I'll call them biome for lack of a better word, but you go inside this little door and you go into this like fairgrounds. And now you're hearing the story about how they were at the fairgrounds, right? If you remember, everybody's gone to the rapture. There would be kind of like leftover, like voices from the people. And
Yes.
this is similar to that, where you can basically hear them, and now they're like by the thing where they won the teddy bear or something, and so you're kind of getting the story told to you as you're in these different environments. I hope that made
Yeah,
sense.
that makes sense. I'm following you. So you're kind of looking around this place, seeing these little, like, I guess, exhibits that affect the real world, and then as you're doing the puzzles, you're getting narration about these two people who met. I mean, my question is, what are the puzzles like?
Yeah, like okay, a good example is there's like a key that's a small key, but when you and remember it's similar to other games that are like this. It's not just as easy as like taking the small thing out and making it big. Sometimes you take the big thing out, make it small, or you take the small thing out, make it big, and then make it bigger by like you know what I mean, like finding it in the environment again and doing it twice. That's hard to explain on a podcast. But here's a puzzle. There's a key and it's small. I made the key big. It became a bridge.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right?
So, like,
That's
so the scale of things is really important.
the scale of things is everything. Really, I think that's the main hook. Again, similar to Superliminal, where it's like the dimensions of stuff was weird, and you had to like mess with the dimensions to get the puzzle solved. And so, yeah, it is relaxing, similar to Under Leaves. A very good, just kind of you want to chill out. It's perplexing. It's more perplexing than Under Leaves. It's like, okay, I don't know what to do. I might have to go to a walkthrough. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But what a cool game because, again, I had no expectation. I think I just bought this on my own. I don't think I got a code. Oh, yeah, it came from the PlayStation free
Yeah,
store.
if you got PS Plus, it was free.
Yeah, so I was like, well, there's nothing to lose, and I live Annapurna. It hit me more than I thought it would because it's really about dissecting these moments between two people when they start falling for each other and the memories they create. And maybe it's the pandemic talking, but I'm like, I remember life, and
I
when
remember relationships.
I remember when I had a relationship and I went somewhere like a coffee store with a lady, and I sounded like that when I did it back in the day.
Like you do.
Like you do when you're 50, 60 years young and you're dating. It's a really cool game. It's a chill game. If you like those two games I just mentioned, Edith Finch or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Edith Finch. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Everybody Gone to the Rapture, and you like Superliminal, it's those two games put together.
Right on. Right on. Interesting.
Sturdy.
And it's free if you're on PS Plus, so not really anything lost if you give it a shot.
Yeah, oh, and it's beautiful, by the way. I am playing the PS5 version. I guess there is a PS4 version and a Steam version. But on the PS5, it is breathtaking. I mean, it's like so... It reminds me of The Witness.
Okay. Well, one thing that you can always say about Annapurna games is they always have the artistic element down. I've played many of their games, and I like some of them. I like others less so. But the one thing that's common is they always have a really strong artistic bent to them. They always look great. They always sound great. Like, they definitely put a lot of time and effort into making things beautiful. So that's something you can't take away from them. That's for sure.
Well, here, real quick tangent is that's the difference between them, well, many differences, and
And
Ratalaika.
games.
Because, well, here's the thing. It is curation, right? Annapurna is
Absolutely.
publishing this, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they have a bunch of people going like, hey, what is Graceful Decay doing? Oh, look at this amazing, beautiful thing. So it's an eyeball. It's having a good eye. And Ratalaika has to get some more eyeballs.
Okay, we're gonna leave it there. That is Maquette from Annapurna, free on PS5. I don't know if it's free on PS4. They are starting to do a little bit of that whole, if you got a 5, then this is free, but you don't get it on the other platform. That's kind of weird, but it is free on PS5. Otherwise, I believe it's on all the other platforms. All right, I'm going to talk about a game that I picked up on the Switch for, I believe, $1.99 on sale. I picked it up just on a lark. I just looked at it, didn't look like my thing, but I thought, I'm going to give this a shot. It's so cheap. It's called Steampunk Tower 2. What a generic title, right? What a totally generic, boring-ass title. Doesn't really tell you much about it. I looked at the screenshots, and what was good about the screenshots was it had kind of cool colors in the background. Stuff in the foreground was kind of like black, and it had like a really good contrast between. So like the artistic element kind of is what got me. Plus, I mean, $2. I mean, okay, maybe it's great, maybe it's not great. $2 is not a huge investment. Picked it up, and I gotta say, Carlos, this game is awesome. I love it. It's like so good.
I was foreshadowing that when you said it. I could tell.
It is so good. It's so good. I could not believe how cool and fun this game is. So here's the deal. It is kind of like a tower defense game, except you only have one tower and you are the tower. So what happens is you fly above the city in a steampunk airship. You go to like a combat zone. This is like a little cutscene. The ship drops this giant. It looks like a tent spike or something. Just like a large spike. Just drops it from the fucking sky. Comes rocketing down to Earth. Jams itself into the ground, and then 2 little feet come out on the side of it, and it stabilizes itself, and then the top extends, and it becomes a tower. It's just like plants itself wherever the battle is, right? So once that tower rises, little elevators open up on the inside, and these little turrets come out from the middle of the tower, and then they go on either side, a left side or a right side. Something about this design I find to be so fucking amazing and awesome and cool and neat and fun. I just like look at the visual design of it. The tower rocketing down, opens up, little turrets pop out. Something about that just like tickles my fancy so hard. Like it's getting raw and it's hurty because it's so fun and it's just so neat. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, tower defense, and it's just one tower.
One tower, and you're in the tower, and then you don't have a whole bunch of shit to... Because I generally can't stand tower defense. I don't usually like it.
Right, me too.
But once in a while, somebody will tweak the formula. Like when people do active tower defense. I think active tower defense, where you have a character, sometimes can be pretty cool.
Yeah, they can.
But straight up, like, tower defense, where you're just watching it, and hopefully you planned right, and hopefully, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't care for those very much. But this one, a total big spin on the formula. So what happens is, the tower sets up, little turrets pop out. You can choose whatever turrets you want. So you got like machine guns, like a saw blade cannon. You've got like a heavy cannon that shoots stuff on the ground, like a mortar. You've got electric cannon. You like unlock them as you go, whatever. You got a bunch of different flavors of cannon. You set these up in whatever way you want, and then you take on all of the hordes, and they approach you from both the right and the left. And so you're shooting automatically. You don't control the shots, but what happens is you're not bored because those little turrets will run out of ammo, and you have to like reload them. If you don't do anything, they will stay on the outside of the tower and reload really slowly. But if you're watching the battle, you can kind of see which ones are getting low on ammo. You can retract them into the tower to make them reload faster. But also on top of that, when you retract them inside the tower, you can move them to a different position. And like maybe there's a cannon on the right side that has a bunch of bullets, and the cannon on the left side is just about to run dry. Retract the cannon on the left, move it down, take the cannon on the right, switch it across. All of a sudden, you've got like more backup on the left side where it needs to be. So like half the game is actively reloading your turrets to make sure they don't run out of ammo, and the other half is like watching who's approaching you and making sure that your turrets are rotated properly to whichever way they need to go. So like for example, another example, the electric guns are not great against anything except for robots. But when robots show up on the battlefield, they're really big. They're huge bruisers. They can fuck your tower up like really quickly. So you got to take the robots out like ASAP or else you're in trouble. So like if you've got your electric cannon on the right side of the tower and a robot's coming from the left side, you like switch that cannon over, like move those cannons around, retract a couple, get the electric guy on the left side, start blasting that robot, switch something over to the right side. So you're not actually like doing the gunning yourself, but you're managing the guns in just one tower. It's fucking awesome, dude. It's really fun. I think it's really cool. It's active in just the right way, and it's also passive in just the right way, and I think it's really cool. On top of all that, there's a pretty in-depth leveling system where you have a big map of Europe. I think it's like real world Europe. There's like London and France and stuff.
It's an alternate steampunk universe.
Exactly so. It's an ASU. ASU. There you go. And so you conquer territory as you move over. You set up your towers and stuff. You collect taxes from the people. That goes into your resources. And you have to like capture little factories. You can get resources from the factories to build up your turrets, right? So like you start with a basic turret. Then you can like upgrade like the medium turret and the higher level turret. But there's also branches, and you can't go back. So you got to like make these strategic choices. I've only got so many dollars, and I need to get a better turret. Do I want the turret that shoots further, or do I want the one that shoots harder? Which one do I want? Do I want the electric gun that will stun people, or do I want the one that will pierce armor? Like which one? You got to like decide. And if you make a mistake or whatever, it's fine. And not this is necessarily a mistake, but like if you maybe get one that's not the right one at the right time, maybe you need a different one for a different battle, you can make more. But it's like, you know, the penalty is sometimes you got to wait a while, build up some more money if you make a mistake. So there is some consequences to it. It's not just consequence free, but you go across the country, you build up your resources, build up your empire, build up your turrets the way you want them to be built, which I think gives it a really good crunchy flavor. Seeing all the different kinds of turrets, all the different types. There's also special unique turrets you get from these one-off battles, which are pretty cool. And then just like the turret itself, the action is really, really fun. I think the graphics look great. It's really sharp, simple, easy to read, and yet there's lots of colors, and I think it looks really vibrant. Action's really fun, and I think it's busy but not too busy. It's passive but not too passive. It's kind of like tower defense, but not really. I haven't really played anything exactly like this before, and I think it's just fucking awesome, dude. I've been so addicted to it. I play it maybe like 3-4 levels before I go to bed. It's not something you're going to play for 12 hours at a stretch, right? Because like you're only going to do so much stuff in a tower. But like, dude, when I put it down, I'm thinking about it, and when I come back to it, I'm really having a good time. Play, you know, conquer 1 or 2 more little territories, put it down, come back to the next day. I think it's fucking great, dude. I love this game. $2.
$2. Let me ask you a question. I'm looking at the map, and it seems pretty massive. That resource collection stuff, is that time consuming? How long are you actually doing the resource stuff?
Oh, dude, it's pretty easy. So what happens is you have to fight in each territory once. So let's say like you're in Central Europe or something. You've got, you know, every chunk of like 50 miles or whatever it is. I don't know how they divide it up, but like you got to take over each territory. So you got to fight each battle one time. But after you've beaten that battle, you can just auto fight it and just get the resources from it. So like I can collect through like all of Europe and all of Britain, and all that stuff takes you, I don't know, like 2 minutes to like collect all the resources. Then you're on to like the new territory. And honestly, like collecting the resources is pretty calming. Like you just kind of go through and collect your money and stuff. It's not a drag at all. It's really fast, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, and the animation looks cool. I'm looking at the trailer. So this seems groovy, especially $2. What the hell?
Oh man, I dig it. Like some of the best part, this sounds really weird, but like some of the best part is going to the map screen. When you need to get your resources, they actually load the resources onto a tiny, tiny little train, and the train has to make it all the way across Europe, and sometimes they load it onto a boat and it comes to you. Like, it's not like you just get the resources, it's like they got to send it to you. And so you're watching the little train go across the land, and it's get to your station, and then you meet at the station and you get the box of things. Like, it's totally stupid, right? It doesn't mean anything, but it's so cool. It's such a neat little feature, and it just adds so much to the flavor of, like, you kind of like taking over this territory. This game is fucking dope, dude. I think it's a great game. It's so different and fresh and interesting and new, and it plays really well, and I'm having the best time with it.
And it's put out by Dreamgate, and I looked up on Steam, and this is called Steampunk Tower 2. There is no Steampunk Tower 1.
I believe it. I believe it.
I don't know. Maybe they just went right to 2. But it seems groovy. I'm into it. I'll get it on my Switch. Done.
Man,
it's done.
Good stuff. Works great on the Switch. I love it. So that is a big, big thumbs up for Steampunk Tower 2. One of my favorite surprises of the year so far. Out of nowhere. So there's that one. Carlos, last night when I was asking you what you were going to talk about in the show today, you gave me a list of games, and at the end you said turkey. And I thought, I enjoy a good turkey. Maybe he's hungry. Maybe turkey's on his mind. Maybe we're going to talk about dinner. Maybe he's got a good turkey recipe. Maybe he's got a pet turkey. My mind was spinning, thinking about all the different ways we could possibly talk about turkey on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos, how are we talking about turkey today?
Well, I do have a pet turkey, and his name is Roger, and he is adorable. So that's what I meant. So let me tell you about Roger. Actually, no, that's not true. I typed in Turok, and it auto-corrected it to turkey. Yeah. Turok Hunter, there's like many of these games. I never know any of the names of them. I played this one. I still don't know what it's called because I think it's just called Turok. It's a re-release on the, get this, PS5.
But was this originally the N64 Turok?
Right. It's the remake of that game that already came out, and I believe it was on Steam, which they, bumped up the frame rate, etc. And now this is it on a console.
But it looks like an N64 game?
Yeah.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter?
Yep. It's still old school Turok. So I think they are like actually creating a new one right now. We don't do research, but I think that's happening. But this is like the original Turok, old school. Graphics are basically the same, but it is 60 frames per second, and it is smooth. And if you remember, like, didn't they re-release Doom recently or something?
The N64 Doom, they did, yes.
Yeah, and then you go back and go like, okay, well, obviously the graphics are what they are, but if it's like responsive, it's still a fun shooter. It's still gonna be a fun shooter. And I'm not sure if there was a save version in the N64, but there is in this one. So I was able to, play a bunch and actually like keep my progress.
Oh, because you can just do like those custom save states.
Yeah, I don't know what they did, but they did something. I remember I saved my game in this Turok, but
okay,
I played it for a lark or on a lark, or what is the phrase that we
for
just
a larf
used? For a larf. But
yeah.
No, wait, you do it for a larf, but can't you play something on a lark?
Yeah, I played it on a lark. Yeah, that's right.
So I did both.
You did both. You got both your L words.
I think it was like similar, like dollars, right? It costs like $2.99, $5.99, something cheap.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm a Native American. I got Native American in me a lot, Apache. And I'm like, there's no video games for Native Americans. And we already know there's like 3. And one of them is Turok. So I was like, it's pretty slim pickings. Might as well go back to the N64 game and play it again. Anyways, it's just a fun game. It's ridiculous. The graphics are bad.
This is first person, right?
First person shooting. And I guess the biggest thing was my problem with it originally is that you're a Native American and you mainly shoot guns. Like that's your main weapon. Like you have a bow and arrow, but it's shitty. Like it has.
Is that good or bad? Because I feel like there's a lot of potential for that to be kind of like racially insensitive. Like what if he showed up and he just had like a tomahawk or something? Wouldn't that be like super racist of them to do that? I mean.
Now, there's racism and there's just what just happened. That's a whole other tangent, but I'm fine with him having a fucking tomahawk or bow and arrow like he used, like my family, family line used when they were Native Americans. They didn't have guns. They didn't have machine guns, and they didn't even have horses. That's a whole other thing. So, yeah, I think that aside, the fact that I just basically used guns, and it was basically Doom, there's no real Native American part except when they showed the Native American like pick up a puzzle piece or something. It was just relaxing and fun. It was just ridiculous. It was a fun nod to the old school to go back, and I was just blown away how smooth it was because at 60 frames it's like what's the other shooter games I've been playing like Cyberpunk. Like I'm in Cyberpunk. I love it because it is 60 and I feel like I can't go back because it's like 1-to-1 reaction to my hand on the controller. And this is what this is. It's Turok. It's bad graphics. It's weird level design. You're finding weird puzzle pieces and going underwater and going through teleport gates, and it doesn't make any sense. But you're shooting dinosaurs. That's always fun. And it's just super buttery smooth action.
And this is the one where like a hill is depicted as like a flat green polygon, right? Like it's like your guy is made of like 5 polygons or something. Like, are we talking about that? Like the super old school mega blocky N64?
Yeah, it's mega blocky, but I was actually surprised at how much more like tangibility to the world there still was. Like you still had to climb things. Like there was like vines, and I was like, oh, I'm climbing in an N64 game.
That's fancy.
Like when we first saw original 3D Mario or something, we're like, wow, we can do these types of things in the environment.
Okay, gotcha.
So all that's there, and the shooting just feels great. Like it's the only weird thing is it's pretty good at like placement of like where you're shooting, and you're not missing too many times. But there's this animation, like back in the day, they felt like really proud when they had animations that were like lifelike, you know? And there's this animation they overuse when you shoot certain enemies. They get shot in the eye for some reason, and they just start bleeding out of their eye, and then they stumble forward. Like, that happens way too much because I'm shooting people in their legs, you know? And
Yeah.
then it'll do the animation for the eye, and it's like, they just wanted to show that back then.
That's kind of awesome, I have to say. I get shot in the leg and my eye explodes.
It's like a Skyrim thing. It's like, yeah, took one in the knee almost. It's like a meme.
Is this the game that has the cerebral bore as one of the weapons?
I don't know. I don't think I played it long enough back in the day.
You might unlock that, because I remember back in the day that was the big deal. They did like an entire advertising campaign about Turok, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna have the cerebral bore, which is a gun that shoots a drill that drills your enemy's fucking brain out, and that was like the whole big thing. So when you get to that, if that is this one, let me know.
It's fun. It's just a relaxing time, similar to some other games I mentioned in this episode. You know, you have a lot of games that you want to like really dig into and go into the story and stuff, and then there's just like arcade games or like, you know, relaxing something. For sure. And so this is fun, and I was just blown away that it was so, like, I kept playing it. I was like, I should have just played this for 2 minutes, but I'm still playing it, and it's because it's 60 frames per second, and it's like, yeah, it's fun to go back to old school with a little bit of new school.
All right, that is Turok Dinosaur Hunter. You're playing it on PS5, or where are you playing?
Yeah, I think it's either a PS4. I'm playing on my PS5. It might be a PS4 game.
But originally from the N64, Nintendo 64.
N64, yeah.
From back in the day. Okay, one more game. We do have one piece of Q&A to come up at the end of the show, but we're going to go back to our current favorite game of the show, Days Gone. Now, Carlos and I discussed before the recording, we think that we're going to talk about this game today, right now, here and now. But I think probably the next time we discuss it, we're going to devote an entire episode to just doing a spoiler cast. We're going to cover it from start to finish, perhaps. We're going to deep dive. So if any of you listening out there want to join us for that, you want to play along, give us your thoughts, your feedback, your ideas, impressions, mini reviews, anything you want to say about Days Gone, we're going to collect all that up, and then we will put that in the show. We'll read that off, in addition to having our own, wrap up. Definitely spoiler filled, so we'll give you plenty of warning for that as well. I think I'm really loving this game. I know Carlos is really loving this game. So we're going to talk about this game quite a bit. Now, I have some moments I'd like to share. I know that you have some moments you'd like to share as well. But we also got an article sent to us this morning by Game Critics writer AJ Small. Good man, AJ Small. And it was an article that I think you and I both took some issue with. So would you like to talk about the article first, or would you like to go through our cool moments first?
I don't know. Maybe we'll do the article first because it seems like it's the hot topic, and then we'll kind of like talk about some moments that we're having in the game, kind of to finish it up. So this article, it was written in 2019, and he sent it around now just because we were talking about Days Gone.
Yeah.
So I had not originally read it, and it was for Vice, and it was by Patrick Klepek, who I know and went to birthday parties with, and he's a cool dude, and I met him in San Francisco. And he was part of and he still is part of Gaming Press Prestige.
Yep, well-respected writer Patrick Klepek. I've only like virtually met him once. We basically have no relationship at all, so I don't know anything about Patrick other than what I've seen, online, his article. I mean, of course, I'm familiar with his work, but I don't know him on a personal level. Yeah.
So I think that knowing kind of him and his writing, it makes a lot more sense to me why this article was written this way. I think, there's certain people who write articles, not to go on a tangent right away, but I think maybe it's everybody, that there's supposed to be objectivity at times with Gaming Press, but it's almost impossible, right? Editorial, it just goes out the window because people have feelings. They have strong feelings. And if you're...
Objectivity is a myth. It's a hoax.
No such thing. So, his slant, as well as just in general, Vice and the Waypoint podcast, which you might have heard of, they very much are like, let's drill down into games and see what's wrong with them. Like, a lot of times I feel like that's the slant. So that's why this makes sense to me as I was reading through the article. It's not as outlandish as we might make it sound right now in a few minutes, because I guess this is my disclaimer. I know him and I know what...
This is a big disclaimer, because
it is.
I took serious issue with the article, and it seemed like you took issue with it as well.
I did. That's why I'm doing the disclaimer at the beginning. because everything we're about to say, which we do have serious issues, and I think the issues also, I'll speak for both of us, are we just want to like, put our opinion on it, our stamp on it, because regardless of the article itself, that is an old article now, it's more like I think we just disagree with what the game is.
Let me give my disclaimer as well then, because
Okay.
I feel like everybody's entitled to their opinion, and this is not in any way a personal attack on Patrick. I think he's a good guy from what I know about him, and this is not an attack on Vice or anything. But I do think there is a right way to position an article, and I think there's a wrong way. I'm an editor, so I do a lot of this all the time. We talk about how we handle things, how we position things. After playing this game for as long as I did, and then reading Patrick's article, I think he handled it in a very unfair way, and I take a real big issue with how he positioned the issues he bring up, which I'm sure Carlos are going to go through in a second. So,
Yeah. Okay.
as I was reading this, I was like, "Wow, this is the route you chose. That was your choice. I respect you for your choice, but I do not really respect the way that you brought this up. I feel like it was very unfair."
Disclaimers are out of the way now. It's almost like we
Yes.
kept our house, but with disclaimers. So, do you want to maybe do the overview of the article first, and then I can break down the little
Let's
points?
talk about the overview. I don't have it in front of me, but really briefly, Patrick was saying that he just did not like Days Gone. Again, this is from 2019 when the game released, so this was written pretty close to when the game launched. Basically, he just said he thought the gameplay was boring. That's fine. You can think it's boring or not. But the parts that I kind of took issue with were in the very beginning of the article, he says he's killing kids. And then he later, in the next sentence, he's like, yeah, but they're zombies. And he's like, I took issue with the fact that I was killing kids. That was gross and violent. And of course, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not reading from the article here. And then later on, he says, oh, the main character, Deacon St. John, is terrible because he takes a woman and sells her into slavery, which, again, not really what happens. And he just goes on and on about how this is a terrible guy. Deacon's a jerk. This world is terrible. All this, there's too much violence going on. I had no way to talk to people I came across in the woods. I just killed every person I met, basically. I mean, that is one way you could describe what happened, although I would say those are not accurate or even fair descriptions.
Yeah.
So, Carlos, why don't you go first and I'll chip in after you?
Yeah, let's just break down some of those things you just said. And as well as, like I said before, this is also just to kind of, I think, put our stamp on what we think the game is, because we are enjoying it quite a bit.
Big time, big time.
So what's interesting about just the overall slant is, this kind of dark world this game represents. It sounded like he was describing The Walking Dead, which people love, right? And I like,
or even The Last of Us,
or The Last of Us, yeah. Like other things are comparable to the way that he was making this game sound, and I was like, yeah, that's a lot of media. Not that I'm like on board with like all the dark stuff, and I did nope out of Walking Dead at some point, but I just think that that's kind of interesting. Like the whole overarching thing is like, this is terrible in lots of ways that other media already is. Let's talk specifics really quickly. Kid zombies. We never mentioned that, by the way. Most games don't have kids in them, especially kids you can't fight or kill.
Sure.
And so I did think that was weird when I first saw it, and I remember that. But what's interesting is a couple things were left out. One, yeah, they're all zombies. So there's no kids. You're not killing kids. There's zombies. There are also zombies that generally don't mess with you. So it's almost like the developer went out of their way at times where like you don't really have to kill them because they're all on the rooftops.
Yeah.
So they basically like are in quotes harmless, and I think they just wanted to show that other, children were actually affected by this outbreak.
Yeah. As far as I know, there is only one mission in the entire 50-hour game where you actually have to kill those little kid zombies on the roof. So that's like one mission out of 50 hours.
Yeah, one mission out of 50 hours. You're right, because I did that mission. And yeah, that's like the only time. So that's kind of weird. The second thing that's the biggest point, I think, is the woman being sold into slavery is what he was talking
is how he
about.
said it was, yeah.
Yeah. So Deacon, which we both agree, is a very, very human character. And I find myself, like I said last episode, really him echoing some of my thoughts. Like I feel like me as a character goes like, man, this is really fucked up, or I don't know if I believe this. I'm confused. And I like that. I like that he doesn't know where the fuck he is and what he should be doing, and he is confused. But the example is he finds a girl who's basically holed up in a little teeny apartment, and there's zombies all over the place, and there's a good chance she's going to die. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, she's in dire straits. She's all by herself. She's got no food, no family, no support. She's barely been surviving in this like gross out house. the whole fucking town is surrounded by zombies. It's just a matter of time before she gets picked off.
Right. So Deacon / you bring her to a camp. Now all these camps are work camps, and I know I have my pros and cons about the work camp idea, but in general, they're like people trying to create a civilization, like little societies, and some are nicer than others. But he just leaves her at like a not so great one, right? Which,
Yes.
believe me, I have a lot of problems with Tucker and that whole camp, and fuck that camp. But then at some point, Deacon realizes that this is a bad place for her, and he does get her out of there.
Right.
And he brings her somewhere cooler, which Patrick never mentioned. And then she actually, like, it's a sad fucking story, her whole story. She gets taken by some other people, and there's like a whole other storyline with her. But he does what he thinks is the right thing in the beginning, and then he fixes his mistake even.
Yeah. So
right?
Absolutely. Let's be really crystal clear about this, because this big issue that Patrick raises is you're a character who sells people into slavery. Okay, that's not exactly what happened. Like, just like you said, Carlos, he's rescuing her from a place where she is almost certainly going to die. He takes her to the nearest camp, and he's like, yeah, they make you work, but they give you food. You know, he makes it sound like his understanding of the camp, based on the dialogue that we've gotten, is that you have to work for your keep. Okay, that's like having a job. That's like doing anything, right? It's not until he visits later in the game, like a couple missions later, when she's like, I hate it here. They force me to work, and they're like, she starts explaining that it's like more of like a slave camp than anybody knew. And as soon as Deacon figures that out, he's like, okay, shit, this is bad. This is wrong. I don't like this. And then when she escapes, he doesn't take her back. He doesn't force her to go back. He takes her to a new place. Like, he realizes he's made a mistake. He did not realize the depth to which, what kind of work camp it was. And then she's gone, and he doesn't force her to go back. And also, additionally, I want to be really clear that when you find survivors in this game, you do find random survivors throughout the game. It is up to the player which camp they go to. So, like, when you find a guy and, like, out in the woods, you rescue him from zombies, he's like, oh my god, thank you, where can I go, where's a safe place? A pop-up shows up, and it's like Camp A, Camp B, and Camp C, or whatever. And you don't need to send anybody to the work camp if you don't want to. It is your choice to send them somewhere else. So, like, once the game establishes that Deacon is now clear that this is more of a slave camp than a work camp, he stops doing it. So it's like he fixes his mistake. It's not like he did on purpose. He's not a slaver.
Yeah, which it made the article maybe like, this is what I'll do. I'll sell her. By the way, didn't he say sell?
Yeah, but I mean, I thought that was a misrepresentation too, because you get financial rewards for every single mission that you do. It's not like the lady gave you a stack of cash and was like, "Mwahaha, another woman for the pile."
Right.
It was like you complete the mission and you got money just like you do for every other mission. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah, it's a video gamey thing. You get credits just because that's what the game is doing.
Mission done, over. That's what happens.
On top of that, just to double down on the work camp, again, it never is I'm pretty far in the game. I think I'm getting really close to the end. It's never really shown as a slave camp, because that's a strong word, man. You know, you can't just throw that word around. Like, they're working them really hard, and I saw one scene where someone beats up one other guy.
Yeah, I've seen one of those too.
Yeah, you haven't worked hard enough, and he punches him, and I tried to like intervene and I couldn't.
Yeah, they don't let you do anything.
I know, but it still wasn't like, you know, they're all naked and they don't have any food, and it's not like totally fucked up.
And to be fair, it's easy to miss that scene. Like, it's just kind of a random, like, ambient thing that happens. So, like, I went to that camp probably 15 times and never saw the scene where that guy is punching the other guy and forcing him to get back to work. So, I mean, you could see that early, you could see it late, but it's not, like you said, it's not an over-the-top slave camp. You were not doing this thing to sell her into slavery. That's not what the mission was.
Yeah. The other one was just the idea in general about killing people. Yeah. Like random people.
Coming across the marauders in the woods.
Right. This is a concern I have with games in general. Again, you can't single this game out. Every single video game, let's say 85% of them.
Oh, at least 95%.
Yeah, you're killing people, and neither of us are like on board to have that be the game loop every time, and that's actually why, as you heard in this episode, we play lots of games. But that in these types of open world games, Uncharted, I'm looking at you. Do you know how many fucking human beings you kill in Uncharted? It's crazy.
A mountain of bodies, dude. A mountain of bodies. You never have a discussion with anybody. You never try to work anything out in Uncharted.
And they never brought that. I mean, I don't know if people brought that up, but I definitely brought it up in Uncharted. I was like, why am I killing 8,000 people? So that can't really be a consideration, right? That has to just be stricken from the record.
Well, and let's be really clear, right? So he says, I came across a group of people in the woods. These people were like bad guys, and he's like, oh, you know, I killed them. I just killed these people. That's not really what happened, because it's been well established in this game that anybody who's not a member of a camp is like a marauder or a raider or a crazy person or a drug addict or something who like a violent drug addict who like go around killing people. So like when you come across these people, if you yeah, go ahead, try to talk to them. They will immediately open fire on you. Like there is no dialogue. Just like you say, this is a video game that does not allow for any interaction with random people except other than violence, right? So like yeah, you can sit there and try to talk to them, but the game doesn't recognize that. There's no option for that. So the only choice is to kill these people, but it's been established that these guys are in the world robbing and raping and killing and stealing, and that's why they're out in the world and not in a camp. So I mean, it's just like you said, like 95% of games out there, like when you're playing Mario, you don't try to have a discussion with the first mushroom you come across. You just fucking step on him. Give me a break. You don't talk to him.
There's a real problem there. I don't know if we've ever mentioned it on the show, but I heard in the Japanese instructions of Super Mario Brothers, everything in that game are the townspeople. Did you hear that?
No, I haven't heard that. Were they transformed or something?
Yeah, like you're literally killing all of the town.
Well, see, then I guess we should be looking at Mario instead of Days Gone.
We should.
Okay. It just seemed like a really disingenuous argument to bring up to me.
To that point, and again, this would be hilarious. Like right now, like Patrick actually loves the game or something, and we're like tearing apart this 2019 article. But again, I think we're doing it because we want to show people that we do like this game, and I think there's a lot of good things about it. I will say, additive to the killing people in the world, most of the missions that you do, side missions about going to camps where there are people that you have to kill.
Yeah.
I would say 90% so far is they give you a backstory of what happened, and the backstory is fucked up. It's like, hey, you know that guy Roger? Well, oh no, that's my turkey. Not Roger the turkey.
Not Roger.
I just reused the word. You know that guy James or whatever? Well, yeah, he took Susan, Susan from the camp. He shot her in the back of the head. Yeah, and then he just left with like a bunch of money. So can you like go get him? Because that's like really douchey for him to do. Like that's one thing. And the other thing is, even when you go after some of the characters, sometimes you don't even have to kill them, because I just did a mission where there was a guy who's a douchebag, and I was going to go after him and try to like capture him or something, and the zombies killed him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the end of that cutscene. That's the end of that
There's
mission.
also missions where you're going to find people. Hey, so-and-so went out on a farm run and they never came back. Can you please go help them? Can you please go find them?
Right. There are missions where you actually tie people up, and they're like, we're just going to bring them back to camp because they were a douchebag.
Yep. So it's not like, I mean, I felt like Patrick's article was very unfair. I felt like it really took a lot of the stuff out of context. He really put things in like the least favorable light and did not give a full representation of what was happening. And I mean, if you don't like the idea of killing kids or whatever, I mean, that's fine, but don't make it sound like you were killing kids. I mean, these were zombies. There was no way to talk to them. There's no way to like nurse them back to health. I mean, just like any other game out there, like you don't talk about how when you go to fight a mission in like GTA, how you couldn't talk the bad guys down. You just blast them. Like that's like you said, Carlos, that's a problem with games. That's a problem with how violence is like the number one way of interacting with anything in a video game. That's a larger discussion than Days Gone. So I feel like it's really unfair to single this one out and to say, like you said fairly, like anybody in the zombie genre is kind of doing the same thing. Like Last of Us or this or Dead Island or anything like that. There's all the same kind of themes. Like it's like its own fucking genre, the zombie genre. So it's like, have you not engaged with zombie material before? Do you just have a problem with this genre in general? I mean, that's fine. I respect you for having that choice, but don't make it sound like Days Gone is like some kind of special offender that's going out of its way to be this objectionable material, when honestly, I don't think that's even remotely true.
Right, and on top of that, like back to Walking Dead, which I think I've mentioned on the show before, but I noped out of that series when it got too gory and too many, really, really horrific moments. You're like, why am I watching this? I have to like go to bed later, And so this game hasn't had any of those. Like, I mean, they've had zombie moments. You're like, oh no, and that's really sad. They tell sad stories, but to one of my final points, and I'm glad we're going through this because it's actually just bringing up things again, like I like about the game. I think he had mentioned that there was no connection to characters, right? Like you just go around, shooting things with Boozer, and that's it, right? Well, obviously he didn't play very much of it because Boozer's storyline is really emotional.
I think it's a really good story.
And at some point, we haven't talked about this, but this real good song comes in. Like you're on the bike with him, like an actual like song.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck, this feels like Red Dead Redemption 2 moment, or these really cool moments where a song comes in and you just feel emotional. And the character Rachel, I'm really like becoming attached to, and like we've been through so much together on missions. It's crazy. So that's not true either. There's definitely connections to characters in this game. And then the last thing I was going to say, he just mentioned about hunting never pays off. So what? Because it doesn't. He's right. It doesn't. You learn how to hunt, and it doesn't matter. But I was like, I'm not playing this game for the hunting. You know.
Yeah, it's a little thing you can do if you're driving around. I mean, it's certainly not. I think you do like one mission where hunting was required, and then you can it's totally optional for the rest of the game. So whatever.
Yeah. So basically, just discrediting the whole article. Unfortunately, that's why we did the disclaimer. I think we both think the opposite of every part of this article.
It was a surprisingly slanted and unfair article, which I think really did not do this game any justice. And I was a little surprised, honestly. I really have a lot of respect for Patrick as a writer, and I think that maybe he just got this one wrong. I think he maybe didn't have his glasses on straight for this one. So
that's probably it. It was the glasses. I was wondering what it was. It's just the glasses.
Could have been that. He probably doesn't wear glasses. I never met him. I don't know. He's got his contact lenses were switched. He had the left and the right and the left. He got it wrong that day. Dude's a sharp guy. I like Patrick a lot. I like his writing, but he did not get it right on this one.
I really dig him, and I dig Waypoint. This is really just about, for me, calling out the things I like in the game and how these particular words in a story are the opposite for me. Let's talk about a couple things that we like about our experience right now, though. Maybe just a couple little things.
Just a couple little quickies, yes. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first.
All right. So, good things. Moving on. So I was driving around, and as you play Days Gone, you will see these question marks pop up on your map. I did not know what these question marks are. The game actually, as far as I know, never explains what the question marks are. So I didn't know what they meant. The first couple times I saw these question marks pop up, they're not always there. They're just there sometimes. I went to him, and the first time it was a wolf, and he attacked me, and I'm like, fuck. And then the second time I saw a question mark, I drove out to it, and it was a wolf, and he attacked me, and I'm like, fuck.
Whoa.
So I thought that question mark meant a wolf hears you because you're making noise, right? Your motorcycle's going.
Adorable.
That's what I thought it meant, because the first two times I did it, it was a fucking wolf.
Wait, hold on. So the first couple times I did it, just so a comparison.
Yeah.
It was just like random, like, you know how he does. Oh, by the way, we didn't even mention this game has like the Witcher detective mode.
It does.
You like find something, you like look at it for a while and go like, where is the thing I need to look for? And like these little circles of like investigation area. And so, I did this first two question marks I did were just like resources. It was just like zombies and resources. And I was like, oh, thanks, question mark.
I wish I had that experience, because it was a wolf every time. And I just thought that means a wolf is tracking me. That's what I thought it meant, because that's what happened, right? I was looking at a map because I needed to find a specific place I couldn't find it on the map. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, when you see these question marks, it's like little mini adventures. And I'm like, what? And so I started doing more of the question marks. And sure enough, it's not wolves at all. It's fucking little mini adventures that you can go on. And I've been skipping them this whole time because I thought they were just wolf attacks waiting to happen. So I started doing them. One of them was really fucking cool. I stopped, I found a question mark. I tracked it with the Witcher vision. And then I come around a corner, and there's three of these like Ripper guys. Rippers are like the like strung out, druggy, religious weirdos who like carve themselves up, and they're psychos, and they just kill people. Three of these Ripper guys had a hostage, and he was held above a pit that was carved out of the ground, and it was full of zombies. And I come around the corner, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, here's the survivor. I'm just going to pop these guys real quick, and I'll send this guy to a camp. Not the work camp.
Not the work camp.
And so I come around the thing, and then I forget how much of this game is emergent, right? Because as soon as I come around the corner, the Rippers see me. They're like, oh, hell no. And they kick that guy into the pit, like, immediately. And I'm like, oh, no. He fell down the pit, and he's at the bottom of the pit going, help, help. And then you hear the growling and shit. I kill the Rippers, like, as quick as I can. I go into, like bullet time mode, kill the Rippers. I look down at the bottom of the pit, and I'm, like, looking to see if the guy's alive, and I think I see him, and there's, like, a million zombies down there, and it's dark. It's, like, literally, like, a hole in the ground, and I go...
He's gone.
I'm like, I think he's gone. I don't know if I can climb out of this hole if I jump down there. That sounds like a lot of zombies. I'm not going to do that. I think this was a failed rescue attempt. But I liked it a lot because, A, it wasn't scripted, right? Like, I thought when I came around that corner, oh, it's scripted. Like, that hostage is going to just stay there. I'm going to have plenty of time to kill these guys. I'll get the points from saving this guy. No. These guys were going to fucking kill this guy. I just got there too late, right? Like, it was happening without me, whether I showed up or not. And that's awesome. Even though I was bummed about not saving the guy, I thought it was awesome that it happened without me. So that was, like, pretty amazing. I thought that was pretty neat. The other
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say it just reminds me of like that last mission I did right before this podcast. Is that there was a guy I needed to get, and the zombies got him before me, and I was like, well, I guess they were just happened to spawn near him, and he's dead. I didn't do anything.
I love that, dude. I mean, I did a mission yesterday or the day before where I needed to clear out a camp of like raiders who were like, whenever people got on supply runs, they would attack these people and steal their supplies and kill them and rape them and stuff. So they're bad guys. Like, you don't want to talk to these guys. You got to go kill these guys. So you go kill them, and I get close. I even posted a video of this. I don't know if you saw the video or not, but
I didn't.
There was a horde that spawned randomly near them, and they did not see me, and the bad guys didn't know the horde was there. So I got close. I threw an attractor device, kind of like a little alarm clock that makes a bunch of noise. I threw it over to where the bad guys were. The zombies that were in the horde heard it and started rushing the camp that I was supposed to clear out. And like you could see the real-time count. Like there was, I think, 8 or 9 guys that needed to be killed. And as soon as the zombies got over there, you could see in the corner, it was like dead 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like the whole camp got cleared out.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do anything. And I just waited till the zombies like got bored and left, went in, swept up the gear and the stuff they left behind, the bullets and whatnot. It was amazing. Like that shit is fucking so fun, dude. It's really fun.
Wait, I want to say one question mark thing.
Yeah.
So staying with that topic, I did a question mark the other day. It was in camp. And I was like, why is there a question mark in camp? And it was just to go over and listen to a guy do a song on his guitar.
Yes, I saw that too. I did that one literally just last night. Yeah.
And I listened to the whole song, and it was really good. I was like, holy shit.
He's got multiple songs, dude. He's got many songs.
Does he? Oh,
he does.
That's so cool. This game's fucking great. By the way, spoiler, it just gets better and better. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me? Why did I give up on it in the beginning? Anyways, the other thing I was going to say is, a lot of my question marks are the same thing as you, like these little moments, and I love that about the map.
I mean, granted, I'm playing this game 2 years after release. People tell me it didn't run very well on PS4. It had a lot of, technical issues. It's been patched, I'm sure, a million times. So, like, the view I'm getting now is, like, the best possible view. Literally 2 years after release on the next generation of hardware, more horsepower. I mean, I'm getting the best possible experience. So I grant that I may have had a different experience if I had played this on release. But looking at what the game is now, how well it runs, how smooth it is, the content and everything, I think this is a great open world game, dude. I'm having like the best time. The character is great. His personal journey is great. Supporting cast, I think is great. The action is great. I mean, there's like just enough resources to make it interesting, but not so much to make it a drag. Combat is really smooth and fun. Like the motorcycle is amazing. It's so fucking fun to ride the motorcycle. Like I think this game is just front to back. It's just great all the way around. I'm surprised it did not get more props.
One more great thing and one more actual con, because I have a pro and a con.
Okay.
The pro is that the graphics are ridiculously good, bro.
It's super good looking game. Like, dude. It really looks
because
good.
You've obviously been in the snow now. Like there's snow.
Oh, the snow's amazing.
The snow at night with the shadows. I'm like, guess what? PS5 games that are coming out right now, you ain't that good. Because
so good, yes.
Driving in the snow at night at dusk, and there's an actual dusk color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally driving into the forest, and the forest, this is specific, but the forest has a different shade than where I am on the road, where there's different lighting.
Dude, yeah, the landscape, everything about it is so fucking great. Like, it's beautiful all the way across.
Leave footprints in the snow. PS5 games aren't even doing that. Like the sound of the tires on the snow.
The way your bike fucking skids on the snow, which feels totally different than how it skids on the dirt. Like the first time I hit snow, I was like, oh my God, it's like snow, crunchy, soft, wet, slippery, like it is in real life. That's fucking nuts.
It's fucking nuts. I just keep getting blown away. I was in a section, which is not a spoiler, but we were in some caves, and the guy only had a flare. And on my nice TV, it looked ridiculous.
Oh, that
it was
red
like
glow inside the cave.
Yeah, it was just like you're just total blackness, and you only see the flare. And it was like I'm looking at a PS5 game. Like it's legit.
It's good. It's good.
The other things, a couple cons real quick, is I hate the gas tank. You know that. I still do, and I know they went for realism, but most of the time, and I play this game like insanely amount of time, but I'm doing gas stuff. Like way more than I still want to. I fucking hate it. I've upgraded my gas tank. I just sent you a picture to the most. I saw
that. Yes, you got. I think the most you can get.
Yeah,
the biggest one. Yes.
And it's still gonna be motherfucker. I'm gonna still look for a fucking gas thing to fill it up because it still goes out. You do fast travel, and the fast travel uses gas.
It
Come
does. It
on.
calculates how much gas you're going to use from A to
Come
B, and it does.
on.
Yes.
Just give us a little of that. And
I mean, here's my con. I feel you, and it
okay.
doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you, but it bothers me a little bit. But the thing that bothers me is like you cannot take an extra gas tank and strap it to the back of your motorcycle. Why can you not do that? I got a backpack and a bedroll. I got extra ammo. You can get the carry bags for the back of your bike, but you can't strap a gas can to the back of your bike. Why not?
True. Yeah, you put ammo up back there, but you can't put gas. Fuck the gas. Like, the gas thing is dumb, and I don't like it, and I don't care that it's real. So that's the only main thing I have a problem with. The second thing, though, I just said the main thing. The only other thing is the stealth missions can still fuck off. Like, they really can. Because they're, again, you have all the things I'm upgrading my character to be, which is the biggest thing in games when I always talk about on the show. I just want you to reward me for the work I did. And so every time I do a mission, which I'm still doing them, where I have to hide from these guys, it's one shot, you fail, and I want to just like jump off my couch and never ever play the game again, So those things are fucked.
Problem. I know that you don't like those ones. The first 2 or 3, I did no problem at all first time through, but the one I did yesterday, I actually failed it like 3 or 4 times in a row, and I wasn't sure why I was failing it. I mean, I eventually did it, but yeah, it's kind of annoying. I wish they should have a better setup or something, because they just kind of say the guys that you're stealthing on are basically invulnerable because they're wearing these hazmat suits. It would be better if they said you can't kill them because then they'll know that you're here, and that way it screws up the story. So then at least you've got more motivation to not be caught. But I agree, it's kind of irritating. I wish they would make it a little bit easier to kind of just like stealth through. It's not a game breaker by any means, but yeah, it could be a little bit better.
It's not a game breaker because it's not too many missions. I've only done like 5 of them, but they're annoying as hell, and it breaks the immersion because I'm a really, really super strong person now. You know what I mean? So it's silly. Other than that, though, I mean, it literally last night, it was like 1 a.m, and I'd been playing it for 2.5 hours straight or something, and didn't even realize it. I was just like, fuck, I just got to do one more mission. So good. It's so good.
It's absolutely that one more mission, just one more mission, just one more mission, and that's 3 o'clock in the morning for sure. For sure. All right. Enough of Days Gone. We're gonna not talk about it for a little while. Carlos and I will both finish the game. I feel like we're both within spitting distance, maybe, of finishing the game. We're gonna finish this off. The next time we talk about it here on the show, it'll be an all Days Gone episode. We're gonna go through the story, through the fun parts, the not so fun parts, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, the zombies, grown up and kid versions, whatever. We're going to get your feedback. We're going to go through it. Maybe we'll even comb some reviews, maybe see what people thought. That might be kind of interesting. We'll see what happens.
Let's call it the All the Days Are Gone episode.
All the days are gone. Days are gone. I got to come up with something very punny for that. We'll figure something. Yeah. All right, folks. That is it. We actually, I do want to apologize really quickly to AJ Small because he did send us a listener Q&A. It was actually a fairly in-depth Q&A that I was going to read on the show, but we had so many games and we talked about Days Gone for so long. We are like way past time right now, and I'm sure my wife is wondering where I am.
You're in the Matrix. You can't come out. You're in the Inception.
Do not unplug me right now. It'll brainwipe me. I cannot pull out. But we're gonna put a pin in it for now. I apologize, AJ. We do have your question. We will get to it next time. I'm sorry that we went long. We didn't have time to get to it, but it's here. We'll talk about it next episode, I swear. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Thank you for saying this question. We'll get to that next time. But right now, we got to wrap it up because we are over time. That's what happens when you talk about good stuff.
2 hours, motherfucker. 2 hours.
All right, folks. We're going to get out of here. We're going to wrap it up. This is the show. But before we go, as usual, we love to get your questions, comments. Thank you, AJ, for your question, and we will give you some comments. If you want to send us something, hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, @sovideogames, but we're also on the social medias individually. Carlos, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/a-lot-of-things.
All right. As for me, as per usual, on Twitter, on Instagram, BRADGALLAWAY. And that's going to do it for episode 223. Thank you again for joining us here on the So Video Games podcast. And we'll see you next Friday. But in the meantime, this is Bye from Brad.
And it's I'm gone because I'm days gone from Carlos. Terrible.
Weeks gone.